How long are we going to allow this to go on? It's stuff like this that makes us seem like a joke country that you can't take seriously. When not only do we just allow illegals to just pour into the country unfettered, well, we did. We've kind of like stemmed that tide now, um, but then when they get here, we give them credentials to drive. Like to drive big, heavy, dangerous logistical equipment. Jobs that should be going to, native born Americans are instead being given to, you know, drug addict illegal immigrants that barely understand English, like this fucking idiot right here. So yeah, illegal immigrant trucker accused in fatal California crash released by Biden admin after 2022 border crossing. Yes, he came here illegally. He came here under the Biden administration. He got caught and then was released into the country by the Biden administration. Like I said, this, stuff like this that makes us a joke of a country. Absolutely pathetic. A 21-year-old illegal migrant from India is allegedly to blame for a horror pileup on a California freeway that left 3 people dead and several others injured earlier this week, federal immigration officials said. Jashanpreet Singh, well, oh yeah, he's Indian too, just like the last guy who did something similar. The big U-turn guy down in Florida. Jashanpreet Singh was allegedly under the influence of drugs when he crashed his semi truck into slow moving traffic on the 10 freeway in San Bernardino County. That's in California. On Tuesday, according to cops, the wreck which was caught on dash cam, killed 3 people and left at least 4 others injured. Which I've got the video pulled up over here. And blammo! Look at that. And you see him like you know, his truck catches fire. Excuse me. Fucking sneezing over here. And then, he just rolls off into a ditch. Disgusting. Singh was quickly arrested on charges of vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated and driving under the influence. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials have since logged and arrested the detainer, a formal request for local cops to notify the feds before he is freed, officials said, so that ICE can arrest him. And, uh, sorry about that. And we need, yeah, the ICE wants him so that they can arrest him. And this guy doesn't need to be. This guy doesn't need to be deported. He needs to be. He needs to. If found guilty, he needs to be put on trial. And if found guilty, he needs to be executed. Under. I'm not calling for violence. I'm saying, a completely legal, by the book, federal execution. Because this was not some horrible accident. It wasn't premeditated necessarily. I'm sure he didn't set out that day with the intent of killing 3 people and nearly killing 4 other people. But that doesn't matter. He drove a very large, 80,000 pound piece of equipment while under the influence of drugs, knowing damn good and well that it could lead to such a thing. He did it anyway, and he didn't care. It is a terrible tragedy. 3 innocent people lost their lives due to the reckless border policies that allowed an illegal alien to be released into the U.S. and drive an 18-wheeler on America's highways. Homeland Security Assistant Tricia McLaughlin said. I got a friend of mine who tried to get a CDL, and he didn't get one. He's a white guy living in Kentucky, and he didn't get a CDL. Right? They decided that he wasn't good enough to pass the CDL courses, and he didn't get one. But you mean to tell me, and this guy was almost 30 whenever he tried to get his CDL, and maybe he didn't pass. Like maybe he was like he legitimately just couldn't make it, right? Which fine, like that's a check and balance. We don't want unqualified people to do this job. My question is if a friend of mine, or maybe Kentucky's just harder to get CDLs in than California. But how is it in this country a native born white man who speaks English can't get a CDL, but some Jeet junkie who's here illegally is able to get one, and he's only 21 years old? How is that possible? That doesn't make any sense to me. Singh is believed to have entered the U.S. in 2022 via the southern border before he was released into the country by the Biden administration, officials said. Harrowing footage of Tuesday's crash showed the moment Singh allegedly slammed his big rig into the back of an SUV before plowing into several other vehicles. The truck appeared to strike another semi before stopping on the side of the road, the video obtained by ABC 7 shows, which I already showed the video. The crash shut down all westbound lanes on the freeway for several hours as investigators worked the scene. Quote, this accident follows a disturbing trend of illegal aliens driving 18-wheelers and semi-trucks on America's road, McLaughlin said. Quote, earlier this week, DHS highlighted another fatal accident in Indiana caused by an illegal alien driving a semi-truck. Under President Trump and Secretary Noem, ICE is working day in, day out to make America's roads safe again. Yeah, there after the initial one that happened back in August, with another guy whose last name also happened to be Singh. Marco Rubio, I'm pretty sure it was Rubio, announced they're going to start pulling CDLs from non-citizens. And unfortunately, when government is doing things, even when doing things I like that they're doing, because it's government, the bureaucracy still, is very slow. So it's going to take a while to get all these CDLs pulled. So, it's only been a couple months since August, so it would take a while to get that in effect. You know, Now they could stamp the thing that day and say this is official, but then, you've still got all these illegals and even the ones who are here legally, who came in on H-1Bs or who came in seeking asylum, who are technically in the country, quote unquote, legally, but they have CDLs, but they still like check all the other bad boxes about being barely able to speak English and not giving a fuck about our rules and our traditions, and you know it's a recipe for disaster. We have 3 instances in 3 months, one instance a month basically, of an illegal alien driving a semi truck, either getting people killed or nearly getting people killed. Like I said, this is the type of shit that joke countries do. We're turning into a joke, and it's not a good thing. Yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Follow the links and follow me on X. Subscribe everywhere. Do all the algorithm stuff for me, and throw a semi truck into the back of my vehicle while I'm on the highway.